With Super Bowl 57 kicking off in a little over 24 hours from the time this video is released, football fans and general spectators alike are in for a treat as we get to watch two of the NFL's best teams battle it out for the prize of being crowned Super Bowl champion. And this matchup isn't just a show of two great teams facing off in a championship game, but it's really a showing of the two premier teams facing off in a Super Bowl, especially when you factor in offense, whereas both Kansas City and Philadelphia have the number 1 and number 2 rated offense in the entire league. They have two of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league this season, and it also functions kind of like a yin and yang, where you have the Eagles have a top pass rushing attack, and Kansas City has one of the better pass protection units in the entire NFL. But going back to the quarterback, because the quarterbacks are really the face and the identity of these two teams, you could not have scripted a better championship game matchup within quarterbacks, where you have Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Patrick Mahomes was crowned the MVP of the entire league a few days ago, and Jalen Hurts came in second. Two of the top 5 quarterbacks in the entire league, and really just two phenomenal players. Patrick Mahomes being the best quarterback in the league, and Jalen Hurts really proving a lot of doubters wrong who thought he could not play and excel at an NFL level, to now leading a team to a Super Bowl. And I know this because, side note, I'm actually been a fan of Jalen Hurts since he came out of Oklahoma, and as a Chargers fan, I wanted us to draft him. Now we got Justin Herbert, I'm not upset about that, but I'm really glad to see Jalen Hurts' development and growth into the player that he has become. But beyond talking about Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and what I like about each of those two quarterbacks, this is really a sensational game of not only two great offenses led by their elite quarterbacks, but also two great defenses facing off against the respective offenses. But the whole purpose of this video is for me to talk about who I think is going to win and how they're going to win. So when I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, how can the Eagles come out of this as Super Bowl 57 champions? First thing I would say for the Eagles, they need to stay committed to the run game. And that's something that shouldn't be difficult for them, as you have Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, Miles Sanders, one of the better run blocking teams in the entire league. And then you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, while they are a good defensive unit, their run game is so that would definitely be considered the weak link of the entire defense. But the Eagles are more than just running the football, as they have an exceptional receiving core, as I've detailed before. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins. Then you can use Miles Sanders as a receiving option. I definitely look for either Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown to find a weakness in the zone coverage that the Kansas City Chiefs like to run. If they want to lean more towards man, that's a poor idea when you have someone like Smith and Brown. But at some point, I would just tell the Eagles and Jalen Hurts to stay patient. That's the one thing, similar to how he did against the San Francisco 49ers about 2 weeks ago. Take what the defense gives you, stay patient. Your receivers will work that zone and you will find them, and just get those chunk plays time after time. Make an exceptional catch like Devontae Smith made against 49ers. Granted, it was later pass call, not a catch, but plays like that are what's really going to help this Eagles team succeed. Defensively, get to the quarterback. Get to Patrick Mahomes. We know he's hobbled on that ankle, and I'm not saying they should go for it, try to injure him on purpose, but we know he's not going to be a running threat outside of the pocket. So give you more time to focus on the receivers, kind of hang back, not have to worry about Mahomes doing what he does well, which is extending plays, maybe picking up a few extra yards. They have the secondary 2-run man coverage against the Chiefs and their receivers. So I look at this Eagles team and what they can do on offense and defense. I give them a very good chance of winning this game. Now for Kansas City, the keys I have for them to win the game is similar, starting off just like the Philadelphia Eagles, in a sense that I think they need to establish a run game with Pacheco. Now, understanding the Eagles don't have the greatest run defense in the entire league, and the Chiefs, they're not known to run the ball a lot. They're doing it more this year than they have in previous years, but they're not really a run-heavy team. But instead of running the ball through the tackles in the traditional sense with Pacheco, one thing they can do is use him in the screen game, throw him a lot of balls out the backfield to kind of supplement and create something similar to a run game. When you look at the receivers that the Chiefs have, the stable receivers they have with Valdez-Scantling, Hardman, Juju Smith-Schuster, while they may not be star receivers like Tyreek Hill, they all excel at different things and play very well as a unit, and the strength of that receiving core is really the strength of the pack. So one thing they can do is have them run the corners off the line and then try to use that screen game to help gain those necessary yards to help them move down the field. Also, when you have a tight end like Travis Kelce, who you expect him to win all of his matchups, I don't believe the Eagles have anyone who can guard him one-on-one. And then in zone coverage, we know that Travis is excellent at finding the soft spots in zones, as he and Mahomes have that wavelength, have that rapport they've built up for years of experience. So I really look at them offensively. I expect them to roll. Now, we've talked about early how the Eagles have one of the better pass rushes in the entire league, but Kansas City also has one of the better offensive lines and pass protection in all of football. So I don't really see that blitz becoming too much of a factor for Mahomes. I think he'll have enough time to get his passes off, read defenses, do what he has to do. Defensively, what can the Chiefs do to win this game? Number one, they're going to have to try and speed up Jalen Hurts with the blitz. Now, Jalen is a quarterback who plays well against the blitz, but that's just one of the only things they're going to be able to do, as I don't think they have the coverage unit to handle the Eagles receivers. But if you can start off blitzing him early, try to speed him up, and then later throw some different looks at him, kind of disguise a blitz as something else, and maybe try to get him to make some mistakes, that'd be the best thing they can do. Avoid man coverage at all costs. And then going back offensively, another thing that Chiefs can do, they're going to need some Mahomes magic. Just honestly, it's going to come down to, when you're looking at a Super Bowl game, a game of this magnitude, all it takes is one play. And if there is any person on this entire field who can make one play, I trust it to be Patrick Mahomes. Keep that defense honest, keep it busy by hitting the stable of different receivers you have, but it's going to come down to Patrick Mahomes making a big time Patrick Mahomes play in a high stakes game. So with all that being said, we've talked about the strengths of each team, we've talked about the slight deficiencies with each team, and we've talked about the keys they'll need to succeed to win the game. So what do I think? Who do I think is going to walk out of Super Bowl 57 as champions? Well, Vegas has the Philadelphia Eagles as a 2-point favorite, and while I do believe the Eagles are the better of the two teams from top to bottom, Philly should win this game. But I cannot count out Patrick Mahomes to make a big-time play, a big-time throw, because that's what he does. Beyond just his consistent greatness, what makes him one of the greatest is his ability to make timely plays to win games. So with that being said, Vegas has Philly as 2-point favorites. I'm actually going against Vegas and against Philly. And I'd have Kansas City winning this game in overtime, 27-21.